Today on the MWHS Wildcat News. Speech students recently had their mock job interviews as part of their class curriculum. They talk about their thoughts on how they think it went. The cheer team is finding new ways to fundraise for their national competition, one of which is bringing spirit straight to people's homes using spray paint. Miller North Middle School has extra counseling help on their staff. Stuart, an English sheepdog, partners with counselor Eric Depew throughout the school day to help students who are dealing with anxiety. In our latest edition of Sports Corner, sports director Cody Bennett recaps events from the past week, including the classic Battle of Q Street that happened last Friday. For our last story, a review over Wingstop determines whether or not it's one of the better wing restaurants in Omaha. This and more on the MWHS Wildcat News.
Welcome back, Wildcats. Today is September 27th, and I'm your host, Caitlin Willard.
And I'm Edison Geiler. We have a great batch of stories for you to watch today, so sit back, relax, and just enjoy. Our first story comes from part of a speech class.
Students had their mock job interviews, which is the biggest project of their curriculum. Annabelle Harshbarger and Kaden Roth sat down with the interviewees to see how it went.
Every semester, speech and debate students participate in mock job interviews to help prepare them for the future.
In class, we've got about a 45-page packet, and it starts with articles that talk about interviewing skills, and then it has ways to collect information about yourself and how to fill out an application, create a resume, reference sheet, write a thank you letter, and then right now, my students are actually watching videos of current Millard West students doing their interviews in the past so they can see some real life, what it looks like when they go in tomorrow.
Students spend class time preparing and learning about the interviewing process. They learn how to correctly answer questions as well as how to fill out applications and resumes.
This will benefit me because it just prepared me for future job interviews, so I know what to say and know how to dress.
People from businesses around the community volunteer their time to interview Millard West students. The interviewers critique the students and give them feedback on what they did well and what they could work on for next time. This will help the students when they go for a real interview because it allows them to improve on certain skills.
The mock job interviews started as a classroom project where the teacher would interview students, and now it's a community-wide project where part of my job is to acquire the interviewers to come in, and we get business members from around the community that are from Nebraska Furniture Mart, from banks, they're insurance agents, and they're just in general members of our community who want to give back to Millard West.
Teachers and students alike agree that the mock job interview is very beneficial and a great learning experience.
I think this will benefit me because it's I already had one interview, so I'll be prepared for a real job interview and I won't be as nervous.
Oh geez, benefits of doing this. I mean, they're insurmountable. I know when I was in high school, I always questioned the validity and the real world aspect of a lot of the things I did, and you can't question the real world on how this is ever going to happen to you outside of high school because we all have to get jobs and be employed.
Overall, the mock job interviews are an opportunity for students to practice skills they will need for the real world. This has been Annabelle Harshbarger
And Kaden Roth
for the MWHS Wildcat News.
In their quest to fundraise for nationals, the cheer team has tried coming up with new ways to garner money to send its members to the competition. One of these new ideas was to spray paint the Millard West logo on driveways of people who gave money to the team.
Dana Summers and Jenna Reynolds talked to the team about their fundraiser.
The varsity competition cheer team has begun raising money to help pay for the cost to attend nationals held in Florida this spring. This year, they have held their usual fundraisers, such as a golf tournament and Little Girls Cheer Clinic, and added a new fundraiser where they spray paint the Millard West logo onto driveways.
We thought it would be a good idea to spread spirit for our school, and we thought a lot of people would get them painted on their driveways. We don't do any of the painting, but we advertise it a lot on social media.
While the cheerleaders promoted this new fundraiser, several cheer parents volunteered to help do the actual spray paintings. Cheer moms Liz Miller and Stacy Schinzel organized the fundraiser.
We started painting driveways last Saturday, so just a week ago, and right now we have a cutoff date of October 11th. So we have had 2 stencils made. A friend of mine, Sherry Johnson from Creative Press and Design, she's a former Millard West mom. She made those stencils for us, and if you would like to have the Millard West logo on your driveway, it's $30, and for each additional add-on for activities or a jersey number, it's an additional $10 each. If we continue on with this, we will add other activities like the spring activities, possibly winter.
Customers were able to place an order on the Millard West Cheer website by filling out a form and paying online. Many of the cheer parents not only helped with the spray painting, but also purchased a logo for their own driveway.
I chose this because my daughter is on the varsity cheer team, and I wanted to show my support because I am a very proud cheer mom, and I'm very satisfied. I think it turned out great.
Thus far, Painting the Town has been very successful, and the cheer team plans on continuing this fundraiser in future years. This has been Jenna Reynolds and Dana Summers with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Most middle schools only have counselors to help their students talk about anything difficult in their lives. Millard North Middle School, however, has an extra helper on its team.
Stuart Depew, an English sheepdog, helps out his owner Eric Depew by letting students pet or play with him to relieve them of stress or anxiety.
This is the highlight of many students' days. Michelle Zhang and Annalise Smalley went to Millard North Middle School to see what this is all about.
At Millard North Middle School, Eric Depew has the privilege to work alongside his best friend, Stuart.
Stewie was the one who was at the back and was kind of a little bit more shy, a little bit, I don't know, he wasn't as rambunctious as the other ones, which we liked. We later found out that he had worms. We got treated there.
To become a therapy dog, you have to go through 1 to 2 years of training to make sure the dog is comfortable with all people in all situations.
But there's an organization called Love and a Leash. It's out of California, and basically they have a process. It's called a control eval, where he has to do 15 different things to prove that he's a stable, supportive, trained dog. Things like sit, stay. There's a 2-minute sit where he can't move. There's one where a person who's testing is wearing like a big coat and will run up to him and flap the coat to try to scare him, and he can't be aggressive towards them.
Stuart is calm and an easygoing dog. He's able to make a situation that can be tense to a calm and a carefree area.
He really has a calming presence. There's times when we'll walk into a room and maybe there's some tension or people are upset, and he just has the ability to oh, it's a cute puppy, and he just kind of brings things down. And for staff too, there's a lot of staff members and teachers here who come into the counseling center to not see me, but to see Stu. They get down on the floor and they sneak him treats, and he just has the ability to kind of, make people happy.
Stuart is a counselor in the Millard District, even if he is on 4 legs and can't talk. He's able to help people and make situations better for all.
So, and he has a sense too, he can tell when people are emotional. I give the story of I'm sitting there, I'll be talking to a kid, and he gets up and gets the kid's crying, or the kid's emotional, or the kid's anxious, and Stu just has this ability to sense that, and will go and will put his head on their lap or put his butt there so he can scratch.
Stuart has the ability to feel emotions and knows who is feeling it.
Well, one of the great things, I tell this to people, especially when I go to crisis team, Stewie does my job for me in that department. So if you have someone who comes in and is emotional, upset, or angry, or whatever it is, a lot of times they come in and Stuart is like a bridge between me and that person.
Many people have times in their life where they are not doing well, and that is when Stuart can come in and put his ability to use.
They can remember a time in their life, probably yesterday or last week, when maybe they were upset or angry or frustrated or something bad happened, or maybe they just wanted to pet a dog. And Stuart has the ability to kind of fill a role for a lot of people who are in distress or need help.
Stuart can be found working at Millard North Middle School alongside his owner Depew. He works 2 to 3 days a week. If you want to be updated and follow Stuart on his journey as a therapy dog, you can follow his Twitter account at stu_Depew. This has been Annalise Smalley and Michelle Zhang checking out of the MWHS Wildcat News.
We had many sporting events happen in the last week, including the Battle of Q Street football game against Millard South. Cody Bennett recaps these in his latest edition of Sports Corner. Over to you, Cody.
Thanks, Katie, and thank you for joining us on another edition of the Wildcat Sports Corner. I'm your host, Cody Bennett, and the lineup today is a long one. We had the Battle of Q Street on the 20th last week, JV football, cross country, and volleyball. Let's get started. First up is the Q Street Classic. On Friday the 20th, the Wildcats and Patriots squared off in one of the most intense matchups of the year. 25-14, Millard West takes Q Street and is the owner of Beal Stadium. Tristan Gomez with a passing touchdown and no interceptions, while the Wildcat defense let the Patriots score early but shut them down with a late safety in the fourth quarter. I was in the student section front row of that game, and it's the loudest I've ever heard that, so let's keep it up. As well as JV football, they rolled over Bellevue West 74-36, making them 4-0 on the season. The boys varsity cross country team placed third in the Heartland Classic in the rainy, muddy Pella, Iowa. The team was led by senior Adam Murphy, who placed third overall. Other medalists include sophomore Sam Kirchner in 18th, senior Tony Miller in 20th, freshman Joey Harnett in 18th, and was the highest freshman finisher in the race. He was followed by sophomore Ada McLeod in the 45th and sophomore Cole Haith in the 80th, following junior Austin Goch in 86th. The varsity girls cross country team placed 16th overall. The team was led by freshman Isabel Harnett, who placed 33rd. Following Isabel were junior Molly Buys in 77th, freshman Sammy Ullman in 80th, senior Katie McNulty in 108th, and then junior Eva Gilbreath in 111th. Freshman Callie Kirchner at 119th and sophomore M. Gilbert in 127th. For volleyball this week, the Lady Cats won against Gross 2-0 while losing to Millard North 1-2 and won against Papio South 2-0. Thank you for joining me in this edition on the Sports Corner. I've been your host, Cody Bennett, and let's get this win. Happy homecoming on Saturday. Make sure to get your tickets, and back to you, Eddie.
Thank you, Cody. Although the business has been around for a while, Wingstops are fairly scarce and new to the Omaha area. Joseph Ebmere and Garrett Wilcoxon visited the Wing restaurant to see if it was one of the better places in town.
On Wednesday, August 28th, Garrett Wilcoxon and I, Joe Ebmere, went to this Wingstop on Millard Avenue. This is one of only 3 Wingstops in all of Omaha, so we were interested to check it out.
We opened about 2 months ago. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, it was in June, and like I said, we've been open about 2 months.
The passion for Wingstop in Omaha came from the lack of good wings across town. They saw a need for a major wing chain to step in and reestablish the love for wings. Wingstop has many unique flavors and are well known for their variety.
Probably the mild wings, maybe Louisiana rub. Those are pretty popular.
We tried many different types of food. The types of wings we got were hickory barbecue, garlic parmesan, and the hottest ones, the atomic. We also got many different sides. We tried the french fries, dinner rolls, celery, and carrots.
My favorite is the all flats bone-in mild. That's my favorite.
We can agree that all the food we tried was very good. The hickory barbecue wings were our favorite wings. The sauce was tasty and the wings were juicy. The garlic parmesan were pretty good as well. The cheese on it gave it great flavor. As for the atomic, they were hot. We think our mouths are still burning from it now. Our favorite part of all were the fries. They had the perfect seasoning and the texture to give it an absolutely perfect taste. The dinner rolls they had were awesome as well. They had the perfect breading and butter for them. Lastly, the celery and carrots were great. Overall, everything we tried was absolutely amazing. We thought the price was very good. We feel like it was a great price for the amount of food we got. Wingstop was very nice and gave us a discount. Even before the discount, however, our food would have only costed just under $30 in total.
Thank you to Wingstop for allowing us to film them and their restaurant. This is Ben,
Garrett Wilcoxon,
and Joe Ebmere signing off from the MWHS Wildcat News.
That concludes this Friday's broadcast.
From all of our staff, thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you have a great homecoming weekend.
For more stories, check out our website, www.millardwestcatalyst.com, and follow us on Twitter at MWHS Catalyst. And we also just got a brand new Instagram, so follow at MWHS.catalyst. This has been Caitlin Willard
and Edison Geiler with the MWHS Wildcat News. See you later, Wildcats.